Day celebration. Hello, hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, our dignitaries from Sasol, our gracious host today, from the South African Football Association, from the government as well, the Department of Sport, Recreation, Arts and Culture, of course, to our limitless team, the third most powerful force on the African continent in women's football, Banyana who are here, Coach Des Ellis, your technical team, and in totality, I think, lovers of the women's game in South Africa. Such an honor for myself, Carol Shabalala, to be here as your program director on a very momentous occasion and for a very, very big announcement. I think that the timing as well, it comes at just the right time, at a time when the national team is on a high, when they're so exemplary when it comes to the force of women's football, and also at a time when we're now on lockdown level 1, adjusted lockdown level 1, so we're able to come together, see each other after a very, very long time. Very excited about that. But just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, that we are still in the throes of the pandemic. So if I could please ask you all to keep your masks on, except when it is time to eat. Social distance as well, that's very, very important. And we've also got sanitizing stations here in the building. You'll see some just before the escalators as well. So anytime you feel the need, if you want to use the sanitizers, they are available for all of you. But thank you all so much for being here right on time. You see, that's the difference. When it comes to an event that involves women, we start right on time. I love it. Yep, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sasol Women's Football sponsorship announcement. Lots and lots of excitement in terms of what it is that we're going to be hearing today. As I said, it comes at the perfect time when Banyana, just such a leading example of what happens when you get a big corporate force that goes behind the women's game, what it is that we actually can do and where this game can actually go. As we know, this is a long-standing partnership, a long-standing relationship when it comes to Sasol and the women's game, as well as with the South African Football Association. You remember, Sasol has been in partnership with the South African Football Association back in 1994, but in 2009, the big announcement was made where Sasol decided just to redirect its sponsorship and its support of the beautiful game by focusing on the women's game. And we've seen the changes that have come with that and how it is that the women's game has just gone from strength to strength. We're now celebrating a 12-year strong partnership. So really fantastic stuff to see a big corporate like Sasol, of course, putting its financial muscle and its big support behind the women's game, not just at the highest level in terms of Banyana, but of course from grassroots and with the league via the Sasol League. I think that is something that most certainly deserves a round of applause. So we knew back then when the big announcement was made in 2009 about Sasol's focus in the women's game that the main vision was, of course, to see the support for women's football escalating and rising in this particular country. That has happened, so tick. And also to have regular broadcasting of matches that are played by women on mainstream television, and we've seen that happening as well. The South African Broadcasting Corporation doing that, and at times as well, Super Sport when it comes to Banyana and some key matches. So that as well has been another one of the main aims that we've seen really coming to fruition. So we're going to continue to celebrate some of these standout moments when it comes to the women's game, and we're going to tell you a little bit more about what today is all about and what the journey moving forward also looks like. Before we get into the formalities for today, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get some housekeeping out of the way. We are, of course, at Sasol's headquarters, and they want to make sure that we are safe and that we are prepared in case of an emergency. So to that end, please can you all pay attention and take a look at this Sasol safety video that will induct you to this building and also let you know what will happen in case of an emergency. Conduct you to this building and also let you know what will happen in case of an emergency.
Welcome to Sasol Place, the global headquarters of South Africa's leading international integrated chemicals and energy company. At Sasol, we are committed to zero harm and ensuring the health and safety of our employees, service providers, contractors, and visitors. At Sasol, please pay close attention to this short safety video as we will highlight specific information on SHE and safety procedures applicable to our event facilities. You will be required to comply with the following in case of an emergency. If possible, gather your personal belongings if it is safe to do so. Remain calm, do not rush or panic, and only respond to instructions issued through the building's public address system. Sasol emergency marshals will assist in evacuating you to the nearest emergency assembly point. Do not use the elevators in case of an emergency. To ensure your safety and to avoid injury, please follow our 3-point contact principle at all times when ascending or descending the escalators or stairs. First contact, keep one foot grounded. Second contact, keep one hand on the handrail. And finally, third contact, keep your eyes on the direction of travel. In other words, keep your eyes on the path. At the assembly point, the area emergency controller will record attendance. Return to the event only once the all clear has been given by the area emergency controller. Please take note, bathrooms are indicated by these symbols. In order to avoid disruption during the event, please switch your mobile device to silent. Thank you for taking the time to watch the safety induction video. Enjoy the event at Sasol Place, and remember to stay alert and stay safe.
So much for paying attention, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, just to put paid to that, the bathrooms are to your left. The ladies in front of house and the gents at the back. And the smoking area is through those glass doors at the back, past those particular glass doors. And please don't forget to put your mobile devices on silent. Now, we do have some individuals and some guests that are joining us virtually. If you are doing that, thank you so much for joining us. We welcome your input as well. Please make sure that you're using the chat facility. And if you're experiencing any buffering issues, then refresh your page. Alternatively, you can restart your device and your Wi-Fi router and log onto the platform again. Now, please do note that the bandwidth and load shedding will affect connectivity. So to ensure that you've got optimal viewing, please also make sure that you're in full screen mode. Do make use of that chat function to communicate with all of us. So good to have you along for this wonderful, wonderful announcement. It's an announcement of national importance. We've got a national team here in the building. So ladies and gentlemen, as we get it underway formally, please join us in the singing of the national anthem, and leading us to that end is Renee Mabota. Please welcome her onto stage.
Africa.
Great stuff. Thank you so much, Renee. Fantastic. Now that's how you get off a wonderful event like this. To officially welcome us all here and tell us a little bit about why it is that we are here, I'd like to call upon Sasol Vice President for Group Communications and Brand Management. A round of applause, please, for Alton Forte.
The Director General for the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, Mr. Vusimuzi Mkhize, President of the South African Football Association, Dr. Danny Jordan, Chairperson of Women's Football at SAFA, Ms. Emma Hendricks, SAFA NEC member Anastasia Chiklas, Vice President of SASCOC, Ms. Landiwe Simelane, members of SAFA's National Executive Committee and Management Team, Sasol Executive Vice President for Human Resources and Stakeholder Relations, Ms. Charlotte Mukwena, Sasol Banyana, Sasol League and national players, Sasol colleagues, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly observed. On behalf of Sasol, I wish you a warm and proudly South African welcome to this auspicious occasion hosted by Sasol and the South African Football Association. It is my pleasure to officially welcome you to our global headquarters, Sasol Place, here in the heart of Sandton, Johannesburg. Thank you all for joining us today. Your presence, albeit in the midst of an ongoing pandemic, is a truly positive sign that as a country, the ongoing exposure and development of our female athletes and teams is paramount, and there remains a bright future ahead for the country's sportswomen. We are delighted the Director General for Sport, Arts and Culture, Mr. Vusi Mkhize, is here with us today, representing the South African government. Mr. Mkhize, we appreciate the effort you have made to be with us. We trust that the announcements we will make today will be a clear affirmation that we support your department's mission to transform the delivery of sport and recreation by ensuring equitable access, development, and excellence at all levels of participation to harness the socio-economic contributions that can create a better life for all South Africans. I also wish to welcome and thank the members of the media for taking an interest in today's announcement, and of course the ongoing print, broadcast, and online coverage that women football continues to receive. The media has played a particularly important role in exposing our female athletes and sports teams to the masses, and we salute you for this. Please keep up the good work and do more to profile our women's sports heroes. To conclude my welcome today, allow me to introduce a 60-second commercial hot off the press that we will be flighting on multiple channels to reiterate our position as the preeminent brand behind women's football development in South Africa. After the video, our wonderful MC Carol will be back on stage to lead the remainder of today's proceedings. Thank you so much.
We are powerful, tenacious, strong. We are warriors living our dream. A talented team playing one beautiful game. We're knocked down again and again, but we rise even stronger. We've been breaking boundaries and challenging convention with Sasol for 12 years. But we're only just getting started. Unstoppable, invincible. We are limitless and beyond. Sasol, proud partners of women's football.
12 years later, you see the progression. Now limitless and beyond. Really goosebump stuff. Another round of applause for Sasol and their continued support of women's football. So inspirational. Thank you so much, Mr. Fortain, for that wonderful welcome and a really positive opening. I think it's so inspirational to note that Sasol continues its dedication and its support to the beautiful game, to the women's game, and of course, this wonderful team that is Sasol Banyana Banyana. On behalf of the supporters of Banyana Banyana and women's football in South Africa, Sasol, thank you so much, Sasol Foundation, for your wonderful support. We really want to say a big thank you. Now, someone else who's just as passionate as I am about promoting women and putting women up there on the pedestal where they belong is none other than an incredible poetess, a celebrated and award-winning writer, presenter, actress, and activist, and that is Lebu Mashile. She was really moved and inspired by the events today to perform one of her unique and original poetry pieces, and she'll be doing it live. Please welcome Lebu to stage.
This is for the little girl who was different, who wasn't afraid to play hard, who muddied her dresses, tore her uniform, and wore out the soles and toes of her shoes too quickly, who knew what it was to feel her heart pumping outside of her chest as she raced down streets and fields to dreams and destinations nobody else could see. This is for the girl who understood the dance between her feet, the ground, the ball, her teammates, and God, who tasted passion once and couldn't let it go, even though she was told it was not enough to unlock doors that had been closed for women. What more can we do when the excellence that is tattooed into our veins is not enough to break down impenetrable boxes of stereotypes? Pink is for girls. Dolls are for girls. Caring too much about what other people think is for girls. If you play with the boys, you either like them too much or worse, you want to be like a man in a world that does not know how to support women who scare men by playing a game they think is theirs. What more can we do when the life inside us and the reality being pushed at us don't match? See beyond what is there. There is so much to do when you live with the awareness that the magic of the body links to patterns in the mind. A kaleidoscope of possibilities exists when you shift what's inside. What more can we do? Tell girls and women there is a place beyond the sky where women weave every single tear into the sweat that rains from her skin as she glides. Tell girls and women there are a billion ways to fly. What more can we do? More respect, more sponsorships, more money, more airtime, more CAF championships, more UEFA, more scholarships to fly higher than who she was told she could be when we couldn't see who she was. A woman scoring from South Africa to the world, a woman soaring, playing her own life, winning big in impossible ways, forging a career in soccer for longevity's sake. What more can we do? We can be more like you.
Lebu, 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 it. Limitless and beyond. Oh, yeah. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, Lebu, thank you so much for reminding us about some of the powerful stories emanating from women's football, reminding us that it's more than just a sport. It really is a vehicle for realizing dreams, aspirations, for changing lives and inspiring multitudes. We love it. Let's continue the spirit of inspiration, shall we now, as we welcome our next guest onto stage. Please put your hands together for Sasol Executive Vice President, Human Resources and Stakeholder Relations, Charlotte Mokoena, who'll tell us a little bit more about this big celebration, this big announcement, who'll tell us why we're here today.
Thank you, Carol. Good morning, honored guests from government, members of SAFA, leadership team, Sasol Banyana players and technical staff, members of the media, and other guests and Sasol colleagues joining us via our live streaming platforms. Just 2 days ago, these fearless, amazing athletes we are deeply honored to have in our presence played sublime football, courageously led by lion-hearted coach Desiree Ellis and the captain Janine van Veek. These young women beat Mozambique 7-0 in an African Women Cup of Nations first leg qualifier. Their performance this past week, of which we are confident there will be many more in future, demonstrates that Banyana have proven to be a formidable force in football, representing themselves, Sasol and South Africa, with immense valor and grace. The team's stellar track record in very short period, enabled through the players' disciplined work ethic, committed coaches and technical staff and administrators, and dare say, a passionate sponsor to boot, proves that with care, focus, diligence, and resources, great results can be produced. So today, the 22nd of October 2021, represents yet another momentous milestone in Sasol's long-standing partnership with SAFA. Today, I'm filled with immense pride and humility as I can formally announce that Sasol has once again extended our partnership with SAFA as the preeminent sponsor of women's football in South Africa. This new 4-year contract extension up to 2025 is for both the South African senior national women's football team, affectionately known as Sasol Banyana, and the Sasol League. It is an honor that for 12 years already, Sasol has been at the forefront of women's football development in South Africa. Our partnership with SAFA has enabled us to play a pivotal role in breaking down gender barriers in sport to empower young women. Since 2009, we have held the privilege of being the first and sole headline sponsor of Sasol Banyana. Through the Sasol Women's League, established in the same year, we provide a robust platform to develop and nurture grassroots talent. Our support has allowed Sasol to be at the vanguard of opening doors to new opportunities for women football players and contributing towards an inclusive society. We see Sasol's role as one that has afforded talented individuals access to opportunities to grow and thrive. We know this allows many players the chance to realize their dreams, support their families, and further their studies while pursuing their passion for the beautiful game. For these reasons, we consider ourselves as more than just a sponsor. We are a partner in development growth of women's football. Sport builds nations and brings people from diverse backgrounds together. The heroes of Banyana have entertained and inspired our proud sports-loving people by competing against the world's best in the biggest competitions on the continent and the globe. Their crowning achievement, of course, was qualifying for their maiden FIFA Women's World Cup in France in 2019. The aspiring stars of the Sasol Women's League, featuring 144 teams and over 3,000 players, brings communities together in weekly matches where they can showcase their skills to adoring local fans, national coaches, and of course, talent scouts. The league plays an integral role as a feeder to the senior national women's football team, producing world-class players that make South Africa and indeed the world proud. Our sponsorship of women's football underpins a deeper belief we hold dear at Sasol, that we have shared accountability in building an inclusive culture and society that fosters diversity. As a society, we have made significant strides in the past 6.5 decades since the Women's March of 1956, but many challenges still remain. And in a number of instances, it is women that bear the greater burden. From gender-based violence to access to economic activity and even caregiving, it is women who are often most vulnerable and most impacted. To address some of the most pressing issues facing our society today within Sasol, we advocate for agency and allyship. Agency is having a personal sense of control over one's actions and their consequences, and the perceptions of having the freedom to make choices to act. Allyship is the practice of actively supporting people from marginalized groups using the institutional, the social or cultural privilege and power you have to advocate for these groups and advocate on behalf of these groups. While our resources are finite and our financial position remains constrained, we recognize the power and influence Sasol can exert in being a catalyst for positive change and striving to create shared value. And this is our promise to society as Sasol. Even under the very challenging circumstances our organization has experienced in the recent past, we still invested billions of rands in social impact programs. We do not do this for praise. We do this because we believe in our purpose, innovating for a better world. Our purpose has multiple dimensions, whether it translates into acting with greater agency to decarbonize our business, enable government to fast-track vaccination programs in our fence-line communities, or empower young women through sport. Our role in women's football is a shining example of our purpose in action, a purpose we will live up to as we continue to play our part in advancing the interest and developmental needs of women, not just in sports, but also in business and society, in our communities and beyond. I'd like to thank SAFA for their partnership and for supporting Sasol in realizing our goal of enabling transformation and contributing towards enabling greater parity for women athletes, although we are well aware that much more still needs to be done. We thank you, SAFA. As we formally cement the continuation of our partnership with SAFA, we look forward to working together to continue to raise the standard of women's football and to reach even greater milestones under our Limitless and Beyond campaign. I also extend Sasol's heartfelt gratitude to the owners of the various Sasol League teams whose dedication and passion is helping young women footballers to realize their dreams. We express our appreciation for all our partners and stakeholders, including members of the media, who have been integral in showcasing our talented players and bringing the beautiful game to the many, many fans that support women's football. To Banyana Banyana, throughout the years we have seen you grow and become better each time. Celebrating your wins and helping you rise from your lows, you have been a true inspiration to many South Africans, especially the young girls who look up to you. As your sponsor, we want you to be successful and do well and qualify for all the upcoming major tournaments coming up over the next 4 years. But more than this, we expect and know that you will continue to be role models for our nation's youth, especially young girls who see themselves in the greatness that their older sisters in Banyana Banyana represent. I wish you all the best in the upcoming second leg of the African Women's Cup of Nations qualifier match against Mozambique. If this past week's performance is anything to go by, we know you will certainly fly the South African flag with pride and represent our country well. In the same breath, I want to wish all the Sasol League teams that will be participating in the national championships in December, taking place in Durban this year, the best of luck. Nelson Mandela famously said at the inaugural World Sports Awards, and I quote, "Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to the youth in the language they understand," close quote. The words of our beloved former president inspires and galvanizes us as Sasol. We are proud that we can live up to these words. Through our ongoing sponsorship of the Sasol League and our nation's pride, Sasol Banyana Banyana. 12 years as the country's preeminent sponsor of women football is clear affirmation that Sasol not only believes in transformation and the empowerment of women, we truly live this belief underpinned by our company values and our purpose to innovate for a better world. I wish you well, and I know, as I said, you will continue to make us proud. As Sasol, we are right behind you. We're proud of you, and we will remain a steadfast supporter of your greatness right here at home and across the world. Go ahead and go continue to conquer not only the world of women's football, but your own lives and your own spaces, and inspire all those in your communities and closest families that look up to you. You have been an inspiration to me, and you have been a great pride watching you be the flag bearers of our country. And I thank you all for being here today, and I wish you all safety, and I wish you all good well-being. Thank you so much for being here with us, and go well.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mukwena, for those wonderful words there. You know, just Sasol's passion and their determination to see women's football rise to a level that was previously unimaginable by many is very exciting and most certainly is motivating. I'm sure that our next speaker will agree with these sentiments and, in fact, will share his view of what this continued partnership, this sponsorship, and this agreement between SAFA as well as Sasol. He'll be telling us a little bit more about what this means for the women's game. But before that, would like to share with you a video that really displays the fruits of the Sasol-SAFA partnership and what it has done and benefited in terms of sport as well as the communities of the stakeholders that are involved. Take a look.
When Sasol renewed its commitment to women's football in 2017, it was clear that the building of a sporting powerhouse was on the cards at the back of a successful 2012 to 2016 period, which saw the national team, Banyana Banyana, qualify for 2 Olympic Games back-to-back and dominated the COSAFA competition. But the elusive FIFA World Cup and AFCON remained. The Sasol League had grown in stature, producing top international players as well as graduates to ensure empowerment of women in football. The key main objectives were to raise the profile of women's football so that it can grow and attract commercial partners, also to gain increased public support. This was done by improving the quality of the competitions and selection at the Sasol League level, as well as strengthening the academic opportunities for women in football to ensure that the legacy created by Sasol is felt for generations. The Sasol League has grown in stature, which has resulted in the birth of the National League in 2019. The number of players has increased to 3,000, with more than 26 players moving overseas and signing professional contracts in the top leagues in the USA and Europe, which has created increased profile and interest. The increased awareness of the league has increased to 5th in the country after the PSL, Comrades Marathon and Netball for an amateur league. More than 65% of sports enthusiasts are now interested in the Sasol League Championships, and its broadcast peaked at 1.5 million viewers based on the 2019 research by Nielsen. Other players from this league have started their own team, which have become a household names in women's football like JVW-FC. This has proved that the Sasol League is the bedrock of women's football in South Africa and was the key ingredient to the improved success of the national team Banyana Banyana. This Banyana Banyana team was able to retain the SAFA Cup for 4 years in a row, thus stamping its dominance in the SADC region. The appointment of ex-captain Desiree Ellis into the hot seat has improved the culture and mentality of the team, as she has had the experience as a player to impart. Whilst the much anticipated African Women's Cup of Nations did not come in this period, but the team reached the finals and cementing its place in the African women's football. This was evident in the CAF Awards nomination and wins for Thembi Kgatlana as the African Player of the Year and Desiree Ellis winning the Coach of the Year twice. This has set a benchmark for other players and aspiring coaches to reach and maintain the top 3 status in the continental football. 2018 was a special year as for the first time, Banyana Banyana joined the global football fraternity by qualifying to be part of the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup in France. This milestone was achieved through the sweat of the previous players and great support from sponsor Sasol, as they believed in the aspirations of the team and South Africans. Finally, global media and fans have seen the magic, and young girls have yet a higher dream to aspire to. This team is now the most popular women's team in the country by a long margin. 91% of fan awareness, 73% of viewership, and player recognition by ordinary South Africans. Whether it is Vice-Captain Refilwe Jani at AC Milan, Desiree Ellis, the 2-time African Coach of the Year, Thembi Kgatlana at Atletico Madrid, we are positive that without the support of the Sasol sponsorship, these highlights would not be reached. As we look into the future, we can dream further to capture the AFCON title and regain our rightful place at the next Olympics. This will be achieved if the Sasol League is strengthened to find and groom the talent that will keep feeding the pipeline, as well as ensuring that education is part and parcel of the success.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage now SAFA President Dr. Danny Odan, who'll be giving us the mother body's perspective on this wonderful development. A round of applause as he comes on stage.
Just had to check whether we are still in the morning. Firstly, let me welcome the DG of the Department of Sport and Recreation, DG Mkhize, welcome. And thank you for coming, and thank you for the government support for women's football. The 2 vice presidents of Charlotte McQuena, and it's always good to see you, knowing your commitment to Banyana. And have been serving on the CAF and FIFA structures, serving women's football, and the HOD of Banyana and head of women's football in SAFA, Emma Hendricks, And then we also have Sudesh Singh from the South African Coaches Association. It is a wonderful morning for women's football as we stand here to renew a partnership which started in 2009. And we want to thank the Sasol board for the decision to continue to support women's football in South Africa, both in the Sasol League as well as Banyana Banyana. In Banyana Banyana, we have a team now that's ranked number 3 on the African continent. We are the African Football Association with one of the highest number of women footballers playing in Europe. And all of those players came at a time when they come from the Sasol League. And that should give you the indication that this partnership is not just about branding, it's about transformation of lives of women in our country. We hardly had any women playing in Europe. We also, as South Africa, only 23% out of the 211 members of FIFA have women as the coaches of all the national teams. So South Africa is one of the few federations in FIFA out of 211 that have, from Banyana Banyana, under 20, under 17, technical staff, women coaches. And we are also one of the few members of FIFA that has a structured development of women into Banyana Banyana. We have an under 17 national team, an under 20 national team, under 23 team, and then Banyana Banyana. Only 30% out of 211 federations in the world have that kind of structure for women development. Of course, FIFA is in a process of what is called to develop the football of tomorrow. And part of that is to make an evaluation of the World Cup. Now, a lot of things have been said about the Men's World Cup, but also there is an investigation to see the extent to which Women's World Cup must also can also be played every 2 years. And part of that process, we are very happy and proud that Desiree Ellis has been appointed on the FIFA Women Technical Advisory Group to look at all of the elements of what FIFA calls women football of tomorrow. And congratulations, Desiree. Desiree is only one of 3 from the African continent that be serving on that committee, and it's led by one of the coaches of the United States, Jill Ellis, who's won the World Cup, and she's leading the group. And so we are making our contribution at a global level as a result of this partnership. Women's football is the single biggest growth opportunity for commercial partners, but also an opportunity to transform the lives of women footballers. And of course, even if we have not achieved fully professional status for women footballers in our country, we are on the way to get there. And this is the contribution of Sasol will help us to accelerate that process. The Sasol League, with 144 teams, is one of the biggest leagues on the African continent. And if you want to look at the quality of the Sasol League, then look at the 2 teams that were promoted from the Sasol League into the Super League, Ma-Indies and JVW. Both of those teams are in the top positions on the Super League. And therefore, it means that a team like JVW and Ma-Indies did not go there and fight for relegation. They went there and serious challenges for honors in the Super League. So we are very happy with not just the scope that the Sasol League covers every province, every area in our country, but it creates opportunity. And what we see in the Super League is that we have teams from rural areas, and those teams come from the Sasol League, from Richmond, from in the north of Limpopo, Vembe, Limpopo, Polokwane. They are in the national team. So what you find, a very strange development in the Women's League, is that the majority of the teams come from rural areas. And so it says to us that there are a lot of talented women footballers in the rural areas. And some of them are sitting here. There's Nokomatlo, Ramalepe. Many of these players would not have been in Banyana today if we did not have a Sasol League to give them the opportunity to get to international level. So we want to thank Sasol. If you look at the achievements, and I'm not going to dwell too much on what has been achieved over the last period from 2009 to 2021, as already said, twice we qualified for the Olympics. Every single African Cup of Nations we qualified. We qualified for the 2019 World Cup. We've been, when I say we, I mean Banyana, was in the final of AFCON and lost on a penalty shootout. But the one thing that shocked the world of women's football is recently in the Buhari Cup in Nigeria. You should have been in that stadium when the entire government delegation of Nigeria was present, because the Buhari Cup is actually the cup of the First Lady of Nigeria. And after 15 minutes, Banyana has completely destroyed the Nigerian team. Of course, what had happened is when Banyana dealt with Ghana and beat Ghana 3-0, they flew in another 12 players who was playing overseas because the performance of Ghana shocked them. So they brought the best 11 up against Banyana. And midway through the first half, and when it was 3-0, the Nigerians did not talk to us anymore. So they spoiled and ruptured the social engagement, you understand. Of course, the final score, 4-2, emphasized the fact that Banyana, even if they were ranked third, has dealt with the top-ranked team in the African continent, Nigeria. And the FIFA people took note and said that one of the things that we must make sure of is that Banyana first must qualify for AFCON, and two, must qualify for the World Cup 2023. And that will be one of the few, if not the only South African team that will have 2 consecutive World Cup appearances. So we are hoping that they understand the importance that they have to qualify first for AFCON. It seems that they've dealt with Morocco, with Mozambique. The next match is against Algeria. And after that, we're going to the AFCON. And the top 4 teams there will qualify for the World Cup to go to the 2023 World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. After that, of course, depending on what decision FIFA takes, either World Cup every 4 years or World Cup every 2 years, the National Executive of SAFA has already decided that we must investigate the making a bid for the World Cup in 2027. But of course, we have to engage SASCOC, the government. We are in the stage now of doing the necessary research in order for us to put a proposal together to then approach SASCOC and the government. But that is just work in progress. The second thing of women football, it's an opportunity for commercial value. Banyana's profile, performance, and achievement give us that basis, and we will have to work hard to strengthen the value proposition of Banyana, to create more value for our commercial partners. And in our team, we have the players. We have just decided to take the next match of Banyana, Mozambique versus Banyana, to the FNB Stadium. If they are going to play in the World Cup, then they must play in World Cup stadiums. There is no argument as to why Bafana can play at FNB Stadium and Banyana must play in secondary stadiums. So we are going to take them to World Cup Stadium too, to indicate to them that we want to work with them and work with Sasol to put them where they belong, alongside Bafana. So we want to wish Desiree Ellis and the team the very best. We'll see them on Tuesday at FNB Stadium, and we are coming for goals and for points. And that will be the celebration of this new partnership, because as we announced today, the first match is on Tuesday, and you must put a smile on our faces, on the board of Sasol's faces, and give us the kind of performance that we're all looking forward to. So again, to the Sasol board, thank you for your commitment to women's football. Thank you for transforming the lives of women footballers, because also I must tell you that Sasol has contributed to transforming the educational and post-football opportunities for women. Many of them, as I sit there, are graduates as a result of Sasol's support. And this is something that we are very happy and very proud of, that this partnership has transformed both football and the post-football career and opportunity for women footballers in our country. So I want to thank Sasol, to Alton, and to Charlotte. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jordan. That's right. This partnership between Sasol as well as SAFA and the establishment of the Sasol League has benefited South African football and all of the lives that it touches. It's the longest running women's football sponsorship in the country since that first signature back in 2009. And of course, today's event all about celebrating this continued success and this continued partnership as well. Let's talk about what football, women's football in particular, is going to look like in the future with this wonderful support and what this actually means for the beautiful game. To this end, we are going to be engaged in a panel discussion now, and I'd like to invite the following individuals up on stage so we can hear from them. First of all, Banyana, captain, Scottish champion, and she's back in South Africa, Janine van Wyk. Come on up, Janine. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Also joining Janine will be means for women's football in this particular country, and why partnerships like this are so important to the association.
Thanks, Carol. I think for us, like you said earlier, it's about progress. Signing another 4 years with Sasol, there's a progress and continuity on this journey of women's football that we've embarked on since 2009. It's about transforming the lives of women's footballers. We continue on this journey. There's no destination to this. We need to keep improving and creating more platforms for our women's footballers to play football, to empower themselves through education, and also participating in football as referees, as coaches, as managers and administrators. So for us, it's quite important that Sasol is on board again to fuel, the dreams that we have about women's football, and becoming a global, a player, in the football space. So for us, we are really serious about this, and thank you so much to Sasol, for coming on board once again, so that we can continue this journey that we have started to fuel Banyana to even greater heights as well.
Yeah, when you talk about fueling them to even greater heights on this global stage, Coach, you'll remember, of course, Banyana's very first appearance at the FIFA Women's World Cup 2019, and how the nation really got behind the team. Of course, you led them as the head coach. Tell us what this meant, what this momentous occasion meant to you as a leader, and what some of the biggest lessons are that you learned both on and off the field.
Look, it wasn't just about me, but I think it was of the coaches that came before, the players that came before, and everybody down in the Sasol League, including the players and the coaches that contributed to that, because they work with the players day in, day out, and we get the players for 1 week. So the work that they put in is part of the success. I remember my sister telling me, when you see that flag and you come out, you're going to start crying. And it was very, very overwhelming, especially when we sang the national anthem. When I looked across at the players, I was just praying that the occasion didn't overwhelm them. And what happened was that we took the game, and it was fantastic. But just the professionalism at the tournament, it taught us also to step up, not just coaches, but players as well, the staff as well. And coming back, players knew then what they needed to do, because a standard had been set. Not just at the World Cup, but in Banyana as well. And the levels is consistently being raised. So whoever comes in has got to raise the levels. Those days of maybe training three or so times a week is not good enough anymore. You've got to consistently raise your levels, and that is what we tell the players as well.
Yeah, Janine, we talk about the national team level, but for a young player that's playing in the Sasol League, looking up to you, and one day wants to also, follow in your footsteps, what would your advice be to them?
I would say to them to get the most out of your talent, and the most essential way to achieve your goals and your dreams is to have self-belief, have mental toughness, and train harder than anyone else has ever trained. Because I always say nothing worth having comes easy. You have to be willing to face the challenges that come your way, no matter how big, no matter how small, and expect that there will be challenges as an athlete. And you got to have the mental strength and power to overcome those small challenges, and just believe in yourself, no matter what, no matter who believes in you. You just got to believe in yourself, believe in the ability, and just work as hard as you can to get to the level that you want to be.
Yeah, and also know that there are no limits, that you're limitless. Nozipo, let's talk about the launch of this Limitless initiative back in 2018. This was a big one. And it was really aimed at, garnering more support for women's football, and also inspiring those, individuals out there to participate in women's football. Why was this such an important thing for Sasol?
So for us as an organization and as a brand, we are all about making sure that everything that we do is around innovating for creating a world that is better for everybody else, and really driving home the message that, you can't just only be worried about your own little space. There's so much that is going on out there. And when we came into partnership in 2009, and we get to see what is happening in women's sport,
support women's
Okay,
football.
hold on 2 seconds. Can we get a microphone, please? Oh. Okay.
For some reason.
Yeah.
We need to observe protocol. Okay, cool. Thank you. Some more. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. So as an organization and as a brand, we are constantly looking to innovate for a better world because we know and realize the importance of ensuring that we are involved in things that are bigger than us, you know, and it's about always being willing to, you know, take a leadership position in everything we do and leave behind a legacy. And the Limitless initiative was really garnering everybody, South Africans, to get behind the team because we're close to what is happening in women's football, but it's almost like you're holding on to something that is so precious and you want the rest of the world, the rest of the country to see how amazing of athletes we have within women's football. And through Limitless, it is not just only about, you know, being on the field, but it's so much bigger than that. What is it that, and we're constantly asking ourselves, what can we do to innovate? What can we do to find creative ways of doing things better than we did before, and both on and off the field through education, mentorship programs, and really striving for excellence in all we do. And women's football really is for us, inspiring the nation, inspiring us, and something that is very close to our hearts.
Agreed. Vusmuz, the Department of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, is a very important and a key stakeholder in the development of women's sports in this particular country. Tell us about some of the key initiatives that, you know, aim to provide support and have been doing this in the past couple of years.
Thanks very much, Carol.
Hey, Mike. Do you have another microphone, please? Yeah?
Give it one.
Okay.
Yeah, I decided.
Thanks. Yeah.
No, thanks very much, Carol, for that question. Maybe we should start by asking ourselves, can any nation prosper and grow when it excludes its majority? And women in this country are a majority, and that if they prosper and they are given opportunities to exercise their talent, then you know that the nation's future and destiny is secured. Hence, when we look at women football and the investment that is being made by Sasol, we feel that they had a very clear vision about what it means to contribute to South Africa's growth holistically. And SAFA's vision about women football, I think, is unprecedented. And therefore, as government, looking at these two partners, we have no choice but to support the initiative and the partnership. And women football, as Department of Sport, Arts and Culture now, it was quite clear that both the league as well as the Banyana have to be supported. And that is why then among those initiatives, when we were approached by SAFA, we had to find some finite resources in terms of financial support, but also in terms of then the programs that they have. If the SAFA wants to host events, that we provide all the necessary support for the teams to be here and be provided with the logistical support they need. So financially, as Charlotte said, it's finite, but we had to make a contribution to that of about 5 million. It's about total of 7 million rands that we provide towards the women football. It's very limited, and therefore we must create conducive environment for the private sector to feel that funding women's sport is more of an investment rather than anything else.
So when it comes to this partnership, you know, football sponsorship of this nature, how does it fit into the government strategic framework of advancing the needs and interests of women?
It's very important because when we talk of social cohesion and nation building, that means that women have to play a central role in this area. So when we look at the government's strategic objectives about ending inequality, about fighting the issues of GBV, about ensuring that women participate in the economy of the country, this particular partnership provides that opportunity, as the COO was saying, that the women then can own their own clubs and become entrepreneurs in the football industry, but they're also becoming coaches, empowers them in terms of management skills, and therefore then to take their rightful place in higher echelons of governance, management, business, and government's commitment towards ending discrimination against women, opening up opportunities in the boardrooms for them to play their rightful place. This partnership nurtures that talent and enables then women to see that there is no barrier. I mean, the role model that Desiree is says to us as government, we need more of Desirees so that we are able to create then an equitable society in which our women in this country are really feeling that they are valued and they have a role to play. And we must, as men, avoid suppressing women and trying to undermine their talent. So government strategic objective is being met and surpassed in many ways by what the partnership of Sasol and SAFA is currently doing.
Yeah, I missed the figure because you were talking about just how important it is that corporates get involved and bridge that financial gap for the advancement of women's football. And you're talking about how limited the government budget is. What was the figure?
7 million rand.
Okay. All right, Siyabonga. Lydia, I want you to talk to us about the Sasol League. You know, just some of the key gaps and the areas of growth when it comes to the Sasol League that have been identified by SAFA, and what are some of the plans being put in place to rectify this?
Can you?
Yours is fine.
I'm fine. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Look, the Sasol League has come far. You know, since 2009. You know, to where we are. You know, in terms of producing quality players that you see in Banyana today, in the Hollywood Bets, league. So it has been that platform where women's footballers were developed and taken through, the paces of advancement of career path to the junior national teams, to Banyana. But also we need to look at talent identification. It's something that the coach has done many times, but how do we now get to the rural areas that Dr. Jordan was talking about? We need to go and unearth that talent. Where do we find the next Tembi Khatlana? Where do we find the next Janine van Wyk? Succession planning is really key for us, in this year. And this league is that right platform, for us to untap that, talent that has not been discovered yet, and going to lower age groups as well, get more younger players playing in the league. We are talking about having a schools league that will also feed into the Sasol league, producing more players participating, having more players participating. And like I said earlier, it's about empowering more women coaches, referees. How do we do that in terms of talent identification? It's about having more road shows. Sasol has been on board with us, giving us the opportunity to go around the country, the coaches, the various coaches, to go look for that talent that has not yet been discovered. But I think there is another opportunity for Desiree and them to go to Ramashashani, where Lebogang, where we can find the next Lebogang Ramalip, to KZN, where we can find the next Khadebe, So we need more roadshows and tap that talent. In terms of the coaches, it's also about the courses. We are courses with a specific focus on women. Obviously, we need to encourage more women that are participating in the Sasol League to also be coaches. They mustn't sit back and think, I'm a team manager. This is where I end up. But we need more women to be coaches. The same thing that we have done in the national teams, where we have women coaches leading the teams. Now we need to look, how do we get more women coaching the teams in the Sasol League, because girls feel more comfortable when they're being coached by women. When they want to talk about things that are affecting them, they are much closer to women than they are in men. So for us, it's quite important that we give them that platform, So also the referees, we need to get more referees involved. We need to have an all referee team, in the Sasol League games. So for us, it's about, getting more people participating in the league and growing women's football, even to be bigger and greater, than it is right now.
Coach, let's get the public excited and let's get them up to speed in terms of their planning now. What are some of the key tournaments that South Africans can look forward to seeing Banyana, of course, participating in? And what is your greatest focus now in the near future?
Look, we're obviously in the qualifying stage for the AFCON. The next leg is in February against Algeria. And then to prepare really well for AFCON. Playing top opposition to get us ready. Then the focus at AFCON, because it's a doubles up as a World Cup qualifying tournament, first to qualify for the World Cup. And coming so close in 2018, the aim is obviously, to win AFCON. We know the ambitions of the other teams as well. And then beyond that is obviously going back to the Olympic Games. Yeah. Sasol has been fantastic in the identification of talent. Not so long ago, we had some provincial visits due to COVID. It was a bit different, where we interacted with the coaches in the room or on live stream. And Lydia was talking about Asanda Khadebe. She's 18 years old, got identified at the provincial visit in KZN and made a debut against Mozambique. And not only made a debut, but had a wonderful assist as well. And that is what we need to consistently keep doing. We always say that if someone raises their hand, we're going to give them an opportunity. We've done a lot of selections over the years, and we need to go back to that. Also to give players hope out there. Lydia was talking about the rural areas. How do we go there? We know there's talent there. Because it took something like the World Cup for the world to confirm that we have talent. But we knew that we have talent in this country. So going back and making sure that we consistently raise the levels in Banyana, but when somebody comes in, that they also raise that levels. And we've set a standard in Banyana, and we hope to keep that standard and consistently raise it. And hopefully with the national selections, with the provincial visits, we can consistently do that. Because we don't only go for Banyana when we go and look for players. We also do it for the youth teams, the U17 and U20. And surprisingly, Asanda Khadebe made a debut not so long ago for the under-20s and played as a striker and scored a hat-trick there. So that is the opportunities that come out of, going to do those visits and doing that for Sasol. And as Lydia spoke about, consistently, coaches coming on board, and the interaction between us and the coaches out in the leagues, I think that is also very important because they work with the players.
Yeah, you spoke about the importance as well of, being on that global stage. Now the world certainly does know the kind of talent that we have in South Africa. And as South Africans as well, Janine, we really celebrate seeing our women footballers playing for top clubs in the world. You've signed several contracts abroad. Tell us why it's so important, and what does international exposure really do for the national team?
I think for any athlete, or should I say footballer, has the ambition to play at the highest level possible in their careers. I think for me, playing professionally abroad has been the pinnacle of my career. And knowing because you're just playing solely football, you're focusing on football, and at the end of the month, you're getting your income because of what you have done in that month for your football team. Whereas here, it is a bit difficult because over here, you're trying to make a career out of your football, but also having, to juggle a full-time job in order to provide for your family. So that has to change for us, and that is something that we all are striving to do. And looking at the national team, we have several players playing abroad already, and I think everyone can attest to see that has made a huge difference, a huge positive impact on the national team. And I think everyone witnessed that at the Bahari Cup in Nigeria. Because you just come in and that level of expectation and demand and standard is just a lot higher. and it rubs off everyone else. So it is important that our players go play abroad. And I think the more this team qualifies for top competitions like the World Cup, like the Olympic Games, the more scouts will pick our players and our talent, because our talent here is limitless. And we will go beyond expectation if more of our players go play abroad. And we will do better in those competitions when we have more players playing professionally abroad. So, yeah.
Okay. Nozipho, let's talk about Sasol and what things look like for the next 4 years, what you're hoping to achieve.
Sure, we're excited about the next 4 years. And as Janine alluded to the fact that they want to continue to play and have more games, for us, it's how can we bring the team closer to South Africans and really living true to our promise that we've made to society around being catalysts for change, so that young girls out there can be inspired when they see the Banyana Banyana players, when they see what is possible for them. And, it's also for us the next 4 years around looking for more opportunities on what can we do more of, how can we reinvent already what we've created and go limitless and beyond.
Let me talk to you, Lydia, about just some of the key milestones that now SAFA would like to achieve in the next 4 years.
For us, if we have to be bold, it's about being the powerhouse of football on the African continent, and at all levels, between the four white lines, in coaching, having experts on FIFA panels, coaching panels, having experts in referees that are called up to referee at international games, and having administrators that are capable of hosting mega international events as well, and one has to think, approach that from a bottom-up perspective. We start with participation at grassroots level. Everyone involved has to participate, and eventually getting more people involved on the Sasol League, in the Sasol League, translating that into the Hollywood Bets League, and then eventually, getting more players for Banyana Banyana, the under-17s Bantwana, and under-20 Basets national teams, so that they can qualify for FIFA International World Cups as well. Banyana now, participating in the qualifiers for 2022 AFCON. Obviously we have to get there. No pressure, coach, but everyone knows we have to get to Morocco next year. And once we are there, it's about getting to New Zealand, Australia in 2022. But in Morocco, something that we have not achieved, that video that played earlier, we have not won the women's AFCON so far. And that is something that we are really, really looking forward to. We have to put all resources together so that our girls can prove, that they're the best on the continent. They showed us that the coach has found the right formula, the right players for the team, and we have to put more resources as SAFA into that, so that we can elevate them to greatness. And that's all it will take for them to win that the women's AFCON and get to New Zealand. When we get to New Zealand, Australia also, it's not about participating, adding to the numbers. It's about being competitive and getting to the next stage as well. So obviously it's about us as an association, giving all the teams from grassroots level all the way to senior teams the platform and the resources also, so that they can be the best in the game.
I'm going to ask Janine, Des, and Ubab Mkhize this last question, and I'll start with Mr. Mkhize here. Tell us what's needed for women's football to continue to grow in the country, and what will actually make this partnership, this Sasol-SAFA relationship in the next 4 years limitless and beyond, in your view? Yeah.
Limitless and beyond. It's a great capture of what the vision is about. Firstly, we would like to see that the young girl in the rural township whatever has an opportunity to participate fully, and therefore we would like to see that the infrastructure, working with the SAFA as well as Sasol, we make sure that there is proper infrastructure in our communities for the young girls to be able to play, to train, to have opportunity to be identified and have that aspiration to be in Banyan Banyan. The second thing in the next 4 years that I hope will happen will be that there will be more resources, investment from the private sector into the Banyana Banyana, so that when they are treated equally, whether it is about salaries that they are paid, there must be justifiable, equitable payment for efforts they put from a technical team to the players, and no discrimination should happen on the basis of gender. I think thirdly, we would like to see to it that even from ourselves as government, we continue to provide more and more financial support to Banyana Banyana, to Bafana Bafana, to SAFA, generally, particularly with the football for women, which has not been really given the attention it deserves. Working with SAFA, I'm hoping that we will find a formula to find resources that we will continue to provide funding to SAFA so that they then grow the Banyana Banyana as well as the women's sport. And finally, the issue of transformation is critical for us to make sure that at all levels of sport, women are able to participate as equals to their own counterparts who are males, without any issue of gender discrimination. And then the fifth one, of course, is to host big events which contribute to the country's happiness index. As you know, when we are excited, we are then able to have a country that is stable, and the country that our young people have future hopes about it, and they feel that they are proudly South Africans. If we can achieve those things in the next 4 years or 5 years of this partnership, through Sasol having led the way for all the other private institutions to invest in this, I think South Africa's future in women football is phenomenal. And it's what we would like to see, as I said, the more Janins and the more of our players playing abroad in the biggest competitive leagues, because this partnership have produced best of the best, not in the continent, but in the world.
Aha, quite right. Coach, I'd like to hear your views as well. What's needed for women's football to continue to grow in the country?
Look, we spoke about grassroots football because we have to go through the stages. We've been lucky through Sasol that we've identified such a lot of talent. I think the next step is as well, this group of players, not just them, but the ones that have come before, have been amazing in qualifying for 2 successive Olympics, a World Cup, numerous AFCONs, and playing in an amateur league. It's not where we want to be at the moment, but I think it's a step in the right direction with the National League coming on board. I think the next step has to be a professional league. If you look at who we play against at World Cups, it's professional athletes. We see the difference that the professional athletes have given us coming back from abroad. They've just elevated the team to a different level. Can you imagine if we have a professional league? It will be not just limitless, but beyond that. And this team can only then rise, including the junior teams, because it filters through from that. So for me, the next step would be to professionalize the sport, and I think then we will see really what women's football is about on the continent.
Janine, what will make this partnership limitless and beyond?
I think all the points have been answered.
Yeah.
And you leave me to the last. But I think for me, being in the game for so many years, like I'm not that old, but I'm old. I think the development of the game has improved in leaps and bounds, and the recognition, like over the years, has just increased a lot. And I think we need to see more of that now that the Super League is on board, and women's football is being exposed on the TV, being broadcasted. We need more of that. You see people talking about the Hollywood Bet Super Cup, and they want to see more games, not just one game a week. They want to see all the teams play. And I think that is important, that it needs to be exposed a little bit more. And I think maybe we need to take the right approach and say baby steps. And hopefully by next year we have it on SABC, we have it on SuperSport, we have it on all broadcast channels for people to see what women is about, what women's football is about. Not only Banyana Banyana. They want to see who plays where, in which club they represent. And again, we need to professionalize the leagues. Our players dedicate our lives, our energy, our time, our everything into this game because we love this game so much. We have so much passion for it. But at the end of the day, it is exhausting to juggle jobs after job and still coming to training and still being able to travel from one province to another to go and play a game. It is exhausting for the players, it's exhausting for their families, and hopefully if we can professionalize it, we are able to earn an income monthly for it to make it easier, for us to only fully concentrate on this game that we love so much, because it is a short-term career and we want to squeeze out the most that we can from this. So I think those points plus my little two should add up to what the next 4 years should be about.
It certainly has. Thank you so much, Janine, and a big thanks to all of our panelists here for telling us a little bit more about the importance of this wonderful partnership, limitless and beyond. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you so much, Nozipho. Sawonga Babamkhize as well. All right, it was fantastic to hear from all of the stakeholders, from the team, the coach, of course, from the South African Football Association, from Sasol, as well as the department, and from government. Great support for this wonderful partnership. Now, we are actually going to solidify this partnership and go into a commemorative ceremony. But before that, we've got some wonderful news and a great announcement for Sasol staff members. Now, we've got 5 Sasol staff members that have each won a Banyana Banyana replica jersey. There's been great excitement about Banyana Banyana being in the building today and this wonderful announcement. So for those that are watching, of course, and are hoping to see their names, here are the lucky winners of that wonderful replica jersey. Congratulations to Gobisa Sanglozi, to Marika Matlou, congratulations Nonkululego Nyagaza, to Okert Esterhazen, and to Carolyn Bissett. Your wonderful Banyana Banyana replica jersey is on its way to you. So a wonderful celebration indeed. Now, let's officially hear from our representative here from Government, Director General, Department of Sport, Arts and Culture, Uvusmuzi Mkhize, who'll just really put his stamp of approval and his seal from government on this wonderful partnership. The podium is yours, sir.
Wow, with the with Carol on the driving seat and those who have spoken before me, it becomes extremely difficult to emulate the standards. Particularly, I thought our Charlotte Mkwena had done a great job already for this momentous occasion. It's a phenomenal achievement that I think is indeed worth to celebrate. Dr. Jordan, President of SAFA, Ms. Lydia Manyapao, CEO of SAFA, Ms. Charlotte Mkwena, the Executive Vice President of Human Resources and Stakeholder Relations, Mr. Elton Fortune, the Vice President, Group Communications and Brand Management, and of course, the first Vice President of SASCOC, Ms. Melanie, Ms. Nozipho Mbata, the Senior Manager, Brand Sponsorships, the media, ladies and gentlemen, I am indeed truly pleased to address you on behalf of our Minister, Minister Nathi Mthethwa, on this happy occasion, on the announcement by Sasol of their sponsorship of women's football in this country. Maybe to just quote what this means, using the words of Mama Maya Angelou, who once said, I quote, "I have learned that people forget what you say. I have also learned people forget what you did. But I have also learned that people never forget how you made them feel." I close quote. Banyana Banyana has made South Africans feel proud of who they are, but most importantly, even during the difficult times of the COVID pandemic, Banyana Banyana continued to give us a sense of hope and positivity about life. Of course, this they would not have done without the support of SAFA as well as the sponsorship of Sasol. Sasol has led the way in partnering with SAFA on women's football since 2009. We can count in one hand the number of such relationships in any sport in this country. Sasol has, in practical terms, redefined the word commitment. If we're saying they were committed for 12 years, even under the most difficult times, they continued to work with SAFA to support women football. Their resilience and fortitude in sticking with SAFA through thick and thin, despite the tough economic times, ranks amongst the great and true partnerships in South African sport. Quite clearly, Sasol read the situation well because their chosen vehicle, which is women football, and in particular Banyana Banyana, has continued to blossom like the Pretoria Jacarandas in September. Many countries owe the success of their teams to the existence of well-established and well-funded professionalized domestic leagues. We, on the other hand, have relied on the good work that Sasol has championed over the decade-long association with SAFA. However, as Janine has said, as well as the coach have indicated, it is important that this league and this football of women becomes a professional league. If that happens, we know that our pipeline to the national soccer team will be a realized dream. Banyana Banyana, you have done the country proud. You have made us to be counted among the top women footballers in the world. That transcends among ourselves as South Africans that indeed we are party to your victory, to your achievement. We would like to say then that we are deeply grateful and thankful to SAFA and Sasol that our women's football has reciprocated through their positive results in spite of years of struggle and patience, the outcomes that Sasol and SAFA wanted. This reciprocity augurs well to invite more of private funders and sponsorships for women football, for greater broadcasting and coverage, but also that we as South Africans must play our part in supporting women football. We must flock to the stadiums and be willing to sacrifice our time as we have the stadiums as full as though it is any other sporting code that is playing. That way, as South Africans, we'll be demonstrating our appreciation and support to women football. At the back then of their maiden qualification for the 2012 Olympics, our national women's football team has moved from strength to strength, gaining momentum all the time. Their participation in the 2019 FIFA World Cup was very significant for the country in general and women's sport in particular. Only this year, the year when we celebrate our struggle icon, Mama Charlotte Manya Makleke, Banyana Banyana conquered all opposition on their way to winning the Aisha Buhari Cup. We want to congratulate you again and say the sky is only the limit without referring to any other team. I must not be misquoted. So, on her visit to South Africa, FIFA's African-born Secretary General, Ms. Fatima Samora, had a lot of good things to say about our women's football. So as government, we understand that we alone cannot provide all the resources required by sport, and as a result, we value the contribution of our corporate sector, and in this instance, and that is Sasol. So the department then has, since the inception of the Women's Football League, committed 5 million rand for the 3 years in support of this important initiative by SAFA. But all in all, that department has also been contributing up to 7 million rand towards over the past 2 years towards women football. As I stand here on behalf of our Minister Natim Teto, we remain committed to continue with this financial support to the women's football, and if possible to grow this financial injection so that women's football can be sustained. So their role is not only growing the sport, but also in getting young girls off the street cannot be emphasized. Through the partnership with Sasol, we are also pleased to welcome Hollywood Bets amongst our women's football sponsors through their support of the National Women's League. Through the Sasol example and influence, we look forward to more sponsors seeing our football as an investment option. To SAFA, we want to say to you, continue to be an association of good governance, an association with a clear vision, because sponsorship only comes where there is good governance and clean governance. Therefore then, by this demonstration of Sasol to further their partnership with you is a demonstration of confidence that you are running the football affairs properly, and you will continue and not disappoint them. We are then readily welcoming today's announcement of Sasol's continued support for women's football. We thank you for this, Sasol. Don't ever doubt that your contribution is welcomed by government of South Africa, by the Department of Sport, but also by South Africans in general. Let our women football blossom and grow from strength to strength. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sabonga, Mr. Mkhize, and government for really putting your seal of approval on this wonderful partnership. Our final port of call today, ladies and gentlemen, is the ceremonial part of today's celebration. And I'd like to invite the following dignitaries up on stage. Mr. Alton Fortain, please come on up. Ms. Charlotte Mukwena, Dr. Danny Odan, and Ms. Emma Hendricks, come on stage. Ms. Chiklas, please come on up as well. Yeah. For the photo. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all of the stakeholders that are involved. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to see how we've got government, we've got the National Association, South African Football Association, as well as corporate in Sasol, really coming together for the betterment of women's football and for sport as a whole in this country, inspiring change, building sporting heroes, and making sure that they also inspire and promote equality in our beautiful country. Well done to Sasol, and congratulations, Banyana Banyana. We all look forward to seeing this wonderful partnership producing more and more successful outcomes and motivation for South Africa. A big thanks to all of our dignitaries as well. It's been a really wonderful celebration. It's been a momentous occasion. Banyana Banyana, limitless and beyond. Not just Banyana Banyana, but women's football in this wonderful country. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now time to move on to the next part of the day's program. Now, we've managed to organize some one-on-one press interviews. So for the members of the media, please can you direct your inquiries or your queries to Mahlomola Morake. Mahlomola, please raise your hand. Looks, there we are. And Matabelo Mtlong as well. Please just approach those two, and they'll ensure, of course, that they organize your one-on-one interviews as well. I'd like to invite everyone to a celebratory lunch. Where are we having lunch? Okay, just at the back, at the back of this particular room. Enjoy lunch with all of us. Thank you all so much for making your way and being a part of this momentous occasion. And also, of course, to everyone that's joining us online, such an important part of this wonderful occasion and this big, big announcement. And we want to encourage you to continue to support women's football in South Africa and to continue to support the South African Football Association. To all of our speakers today, thank you all so much for taking your time, for speaking to us, and for your displaying your passion and your expertise. So the next 4 years only going to get better and better for women's football in this country, limitless and beyond. Thank you and goodbye.